Delicious people. Okay, I almost started having an orgasm right before the recording, so I thought I should probably share the orgasm with you live. and my new amazing best friend who's stuck with me, I hope that's okay with her, Sue Lundquist. I was just on her podcast. We fell in love like a house on fire. And then here she is on ours. Let me read the professional bio. And then she has like a birthday card for me that she pulled. And I'm like, wait, we just have to share it with everybody because I was already starting to get shivers on my arms. So here we go. I want you to know that claritywithsue.com is where you want to go to find out more. And we'll give you all the social media handles and all of the things in the show notes. But Sue is here to help you get clear and remind you of your hopes and your life's desires. And she shows up as a loving, multifaceted dynamo and personal development and mind, body, spirit advocate and lifelong learner. And she's a successful business owner providing new life-changing teaching, coaching, and leadership. She's an award-winning author, featured on Huffington Post, CBS, certified. You're a certified heart math mentor. Yeah. I didn't know that. I got the pleasure of leading at the annual conference in Cancun 2 years ago, a meditation for everybody.
Of course you did.
For the pandemic.
Of course you did.
Of course we have this in common. We fucking love each other. Okay. She's also the creator of the successful Craziness to Clarity method and a highly rated and long-standing international radio show and host, and I had the pleasure. She's amazing. As an educator, facilitator, coach, and your advocate, she possesses both extensive life experience and also over 20 years expert training in personal development and research and development to support you in creating proven solutions for self-regulation and a sustained transformational mindset in real time for real life. And this results in abundance and vitality and reliance, and I would say deliciousness and sweetness and kindness and thoughtfulness, sweet sister. So
resilience. That must have been a typo, but whatever.
Oh, it says reliance.
That was my typo, yeah.
But we'll say resilience too.
Oh, resilience in a hot second. So
yeah.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Oh,
you are magic.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you know,
I know, babe. Sorry, I could make it my hat.
No, it's gorgeous. You could put a little bandana on there. And, yeah.
So I know. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Hi to all of the lovely peoples, and God, what an absolute treat. And happy birthday again. And I know you had a beautiful conversation with your dad.
You saw the video.
I did.
Breakthrough, right?
Honey, it's amazing. It's inspiring, and you're stepping in that rink, sister.
Yes, I am.
You are. I mean, for all of us, right? I mean, we're all in the work. So with that being said, I asked Spirit if, what would be the best message for you to have today. And so I pulled a card for you.
I swear, I have shivers. I have more shivers.
So I would love to share that with you and your listeners if we could do that.
I would love it. Yes, please.
So for your listeners too, I'm deep-seated in practicality, but I am also very 45D. I mean, I talk to people that have crossed over. I've been an intuitive, I don't even know how long I am natural born, all of that good, juicy stuff. I love my Gus, God, universe, source, spirit. And you know what? When you surrender, you're liking the Gus, aren't you?
I finally got what it meant. Because you said it before when I was on your show, but I didn't hear what the three words were. So say for the listeners again. So she calls God Gus.
Yeah. And God is a male or a female or an it or purple chopsticks. You know what, sweetheart? It doesn't matter. It's the energy and the frequency and you and how you show up and what that is.
Totally.
I personally say Gus, God, universe, source, spirit.
God, universe, source, spirit, Gus. I freaking love it.
Love it, right?
Okay, so we asked Gus, and Gus, the card
Gus offered you a message. Are you ready, sweetheart?
I'm totally ready.
And I love this because it always amazes me when I do these, when I'm on my radio show and I do live readings and I pull a card, there's always this theme. So I haven't even fully read it yet, but when I started reading it, I'm like, oh, of course.
Yeah, I figured there was more to it. So I wanted to do it live so we could all go through it.
All right. So here we go. This is your message to you and to everybody and to myself. Dear you, you are in such good shape right now that we are all doing a happy dance. In this moment, you have the power to take a choice to get with spirit and co-create a miracle You may wonder where this is all going, but if you want to manifest your desires for the highest good, you need to stay focused on the now.
Yeah.
All powers is in the present moment. Ask yourself what your dominant thoughts are now. What beliefs are you motivated by? I would add beliefs, desires, right?
Yeah.
Do you have clarity right now? The Sue. How is your conscious contact with the divine? How are you doing with that? Are you plugged? Again, this is clarity and awareness. Are you plugged in, or are you trying to do life all by small self? Ooh, limiting beliefs, subconscious. We know those, don't we? I call it the drunk monkey. Get rid of negative energy now. That would include resentments be gone, forgiveness and love. Enter now. You can do your life beautifully and create your most powerful future right here, right now, in this moment. Aren't you thrilled to know you have a huge cheering section over here? Love and hugs always.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, this is so good. Because as
good.
Did you write that, or where are those kind of cards? What are those cards?
This is Colette Reid. If you guys want to see,
I've interviewed her as well. She's amazing.
Yes,
Time for another interview.
Yes.
Yeah. She loves.
I have a few different decks that I pull from, and Spirit, believe it, this is where they wanted me to pull. So I said, all right.
Well, I love Colette, and that's probably another good reminder to get back in touch with her as well. Okay, what I love is this morning. Okay, so one of the things I lost in the last relationship I was in was my morning practice to go and really be quiet. Because if I was really quiet, she would say, move on. But I didn't want to hear her. I wanted to do my workout and do my affirmations and stay positive and have a good mindset and make this work, right? Make it work. Okay. So this morning before our interview, girlfriend, I've been getting up really, really early and just sitting by the fire and listening and journaling. And as I'm creating my schedule over in India, leaving in 2 weeks, I'm realizing I literally need 3 hours in the morning. Like an hour for the supplements and get the breakfast going, and an hour for a good workout, and an hour to be still. And then I've only ever given myself 2 hours in the morning. But I'm like, no, this is what's new now. It's taking this deep, and then I'll be in India, which is really, I think, going to invite the spiritual me, right? All the Ayurveda, the yoga, all that kind of stuff.
It's so juicy.
Right? So just to be okay that this is what, in order for me to really get to that place where I am one with all and start the day from there, that's what it's going to take. Yeah. So that's the clarity, Miss Clarity, that I got, what I got this morning. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you go about supporting people with their clarity? Because there's a different, in my opinion, clarity that comes from the knowing, and the clarity that comes from this little doubting brain of mine that can talk myself into or out of anything.
Drunk monkey. Oh yeah, I'm with you. All of it. I call it the drunk monkey. And because I laugh, there's got to be some humor. And again, going back to what you had spoken to earlier about, it's not about all roses, and it's not about sitting on the mountain and having that meditation and that Pollyanna thing. You've got to do the work, right? And with you going with the conversation about you getting clear, that is going to be your number one momentum. Yeah. All of the I've been blessed to be able to do international radio for over 12 years. And I've been blessed in, workshops and thought leaders, incredible people. Yeah. And they have great wisdom, great information. However, during my journey, I would go to these workshops and I was like, God, that's such great information. I feel like an idiot. Why can't I retain that? What is wrong with me? So just follow me along here with the clarity aspect of it, because even your trip to India, there's going to be an evolution. Yes, maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 3 hours, and having the CCs, compassionate curiosity for yourself, right? As you evolve and move through this. So back to the thought leaders and going through these incredible learning experiences. And I'm like, I am so much in fight or flight right now. Yeah. I didn't even know that I was there. I was just spinning my wheels, because when we're in it, we're in it and we're doing the best that we can. Totally. And then we sit back in the chair and we're like, what the hell did they just say? And, you know, you hear all these other people having these in-depth conversations, and I'm sitting here going, I got part of it. Yeah, I'll just diminish myself and not have that conversation. So I started on that self-discovery one of self-love, and hey, babe, take care of yourself. It's okay. Be easy on yourself. Yeah. And I backed up and asked the questions. So first I had the awareness that I was in fight or flight. I had the awareness I was in fear. I had the awareness that I wasn't living the life that I wanted to, showing up the way I wanted to. Yeah. Then I went to clarity, and I'm like, okay, the education's got to come now. How do I take baby steps? Let's get really clear on how I want to show up. And again, we had the conversation about, I'm a recovering people pleaser, hands down. So I really had to start researching boundaries, what that looked like. And I'm like, oh, the number one tool that was the hardest thing, it scared me when it was taught to me. Yeah. Take the word try out of your vocabulary.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. That is the most, no offense to my son's father, who I'm grateful for on so many levels, but whenever he say that word try, I would lose my shit.
Oh, I'll try to call you. I'll try to take out the trash. Oh, I'll try to have an orgasm. Come on.
No. I go bonkers.
Yes.
I go,
brothers and sisters. No. Yeah. I'm a little playing here, but seriously, let's go into this conversation about I'll try. Take that word completely out of your vocabulary.
Yes.
So now you have an awareness. Now you're getting really clear on where you're using that. And disclaimer here, doesn't mean you go coach the people that are saying that. You do your own work, because that ain't going to turn out real well if you say.
So much more fun.
So take the word try out, and then it really hones in and focuses on yes and no answers, and how you're going to show up, how you don't want to show up, how you want to react, how you don't want to react. And then it starts into this whole dialogue and beautiful discovery. Beautiful meaning, I use it as an adjective to describe. I don't have the emotional charge that I used to, meaning there's going to be a discovery of fear, because, well, what if I change and they don't like me? Mm-hmm. Well, the ones that were takers are probably not going to like the change.
Totally.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
However, if there's ones in your life, and this is the clarity aspect too, if there are ones in your life that you guys have this contract or this thing that this engagement that you're already doing. However, if this partnership is important enough to you, you can then be brave enough and say, you know what? We got to change the ingredients here. We got to switch this up.
Yeah.
Right. And then that person at that point go, well, wait a minute, let's have that conversation, right? Providing this is a long-term relationship, you feel safe. And even if you don't really feel safe, let's dive into that conversation and see. And honestly, if it's meant to be, and you're going to learn and you're going to engage in that conversation and the emotions, it's going to be really healthy for both sides. And it'll stay if it's meant to stay, and it'll go if it's meant to go. Yeah. And the ones that are meant to go, bless them. Yeah. Love them. Yeah. You don't want any of that resentment, anger. Ugh. We don't want any of that lingering stuff. It's like a poop trail. We don't want lingering. We don't want lingering poop trails.
Absolutely not. How did this specifically apply to completing you had a very long marriage and you have 3 kiddos, right?
Yes.
How did all this unfold? Did you learn this during or after?
All the above.
Yeah.
So my journey probably started in the womb. I am a product of an adopted baby. Okay. So I've known that I was adopted for a long time. However, I always felt abandoned. Mm. There was always something in there. Granted, my mom who adopted me and my dad who adopted me, beautiful people. They did the best that they could with what they had. And they were, again, if you're of the belief that I am, we created that environment. Totally. My soul came with them. I came with them. We chose each other. Yep. Totally. There's no emotional charge here. Where I'm going with this is that began my self-discovery and journey, and then walking, teenage traumas and deaths. And all kinds of stuff. And I could go into a whole list of things only in or with the intention that says, I get it. I've probably gone through it. Not to diminish anything that you've gone through, but I just say, hey, I've walked the talk. I have
pretty much everything.
The experience is it. And then, my daughter's dad is marriage number 2.
Okay, I've had 2 as well. Did you?
Yep.
Keep it up.
I know. And he and I actually went to junior high and high school together. We didn't know each other big time, so much there. I've got this big, huge, I know I'm on interview here, but I got this whole thing happening with my okay, there we go.
Good.
Thank you. So we reunited right before our 10-year high school reunion. And from then on, it was 22 years, 3 babies, 2 homes, remodels, 3 homes. There was 2 things I remember telling him when we reunited. And I said, I talked to dead people, the whole spiritual aspect, and I'm going to reunite with my biological mom. And all of it happened. I met my biological father prior to marrying my girl's dad, and that was in 94. I met my biological mom, and you'll love this because this is the juicy stuff. And I should have been on Oprah. I had sent away for my birth records, and mind you, in 94, I had met with my birth father and met him. He's his own duck. It's beautiful. It is what it is. Tall, 6'5", the man, the only boy to the family, it's this whole thing. And that's its own little animal. And then he proceeded to say, I don't know that she wants to be found, meaning my biological mom. Oh. I didn't believe that at all. And I went on the internet. I was pregnant with baby number 3. And there was this huge drive through the whole pregnancies of really wanting to find a foundation, really that just nurturing mother instinct of, there's got to be more. There's that more out there, right? That drive. Yeah. And, there was some scarcity in there. I didn't know. And I also wanted to provide the foundation for my girls. Yeah. So I was sent away for the birth records. Long and short of it, with the internet, I got my birth records. I found her first and last name, went on the internet, found where she was living, got her phone number, had her social security, everything. Wow. And mind you, this whole process, the process of adoption and then reuniting, I was warned that I should be very careful in intruding, because I really don't know what's going on the other side. However, I listened to Gus. I listened to my intuition. I listened to my inner guidance and said, go. You have to do this now. Yeah. So I sent a letter. First, I called the number and a young girl answered. And I said, is Josie there? Who is my biological mom's name? Josie. And she said, no, she's not. Can I take a message? I'm like, no, that's okay. I'll just try back later. Because I didn't know if that was a daughter, if I was just like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So I sent a letter and she could not have been farther away. I was still living in Washington at the time. She was in Florida. Couldn't have been farther apart. Yeah. All right. 2 weeks go by. I had just given birth to baby number 3, came home the same day because it's baby number 3 and why not? Superwoman, right? Baby number 3 sitting in the baby carrier, breasts, hormones, everything flying. Yeah. The ex hands me a letter and says, I think this is from your biological mom. Yeah. On the same day, I gave birth to my 3rd daughter. Wow. Ended up being her. First thing that she said in the letter, you've never been a secret. I've loved you from the day you've been born. I was life-changing for me. Long and I know I'm long, but there's so much value. It's good. It's so beautiful. Yes. I find my biological mom the same day I give birth to my 3rd daughter. I am her 3rd child. She is a 3rd child. Oh yeah. I have an older brother, older sister, and a baby brother. My baby brother, same birth date as the mom that adopted me. It's the 22nd of the month. I'm a 22nd of the month. It's just, there were so many crazy, beautiful things that happened. Yeah. Serendipitously. Totally. And my intuition was just off the charts. You've got to find her. Well, lo and behold, I'm on the phone. I ended up, I was like, my ex said, you got to call her. And I'm like, oh, shiitake. Okay. I picked up the phone. I call her, and the connection was unbelievable. It was like your best friend in elementary, and you pick up the phone, you hear that there's just this thought, there's intrinsic, I got you, it was incredible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The part that was bittersweet is that this was her second battle with small cell carcinoma, which was an environmental cancer. She had a mass in her esophagus. Oh. And this was her second battle. So she was really fighting hard through her second battle of cancer. Hence me following the guidance
to call now,
really pushing and finding her.
Yeah.
I found her. I flew to Florida. It was beautiful. It was incredible. I had a heart opening. It was just amazing. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. But we lost her 6 months later to the cancer. But look at the full circle moment that she had to find the daughter that she lost. She told me the whole story. She was part of an abusive relationship, and I was the third baby, a product of a love affair with my father, my biological father.
Wow.
Yeah. Passion baby.
That's followed through.
Intimacy on a whole new level, sister. So where I was going with all of this, yes, there was abandonment issues. Yes, there was daddy issues, mommy issues, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And here I am, a mom of 3 babies. Who am I? Yeah. What is my moral foundation? What is my principles? How do I love? What is love? How do I share that example and show up like that for my children?
Yeah.
So then began, over 20 years now of even a deeper dive into who I am, how I'm going to show up, how I'm going to, be responsible for my children and be in the rink with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been an evolutionary process in addition to being an empath and all of that stuff too. And it's been beautiful. And the biggest thing that's come out of all of this is the awareness and the clarity of who I am and the self-love. Now, after the 22 years of marriage, we tried. We tried very hard to work through the issues. And when one party isn't quite on the same train. Yeah. I mean, I could say one, but come on, it takes 2. We're not on the same train. Yeah. Not throwing anybody under the bus. We just grew apart. And honestly, he's a good man. And that's what we said at the end. You're a great woman. You're a great mother. And I said, you're a great man. I left a good man. Yeah. And it is what it is. And we've got 3 beautiful children, 22 years of that entanglement. And even through, and we're going on 3+ years now of me being single. And even through all the trauma with the girls and the divorce, and I listened to Gus. I had another moment where Gus said, you're moving to Bend, Oregon. You're going to pack up the last 40 years of your life, the home that you've known since younger than 8. Yeah. Yeah. I was in Washington, and you're going to leave everything that you know, and you're going to live in Bend. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, I need some big ass signs. I want big signs. So what were those? Huge signs. Huge signs.
Bend over a lot. Like
massive signs. And the whole message here is following that inner guidance and surrendering completely. Yeah. And that has been that, okay, leap of faith. And literally before I had actually made the choice to move to Bend, I have bought a beautiful home on my own in Bend. It's great. I had asked for some signs, and lo and behold, after my run, I'm at my car and I see this little grasshopper. I'm like, oh, well, note to self, I'm going to go see what grasshopper means, because it was right on my door. I mean, it was crazy. And then during the run, I didn't. I was on the road, and this deer came out of the bushes, crossed the road, looked at me, tweaked its ears, and went back in the bushes. I'm like, all right, note to self, I'm going to go to my cards and decks and see what these animal spirits, the messages that I'm getting.
Yeah. What were they?
So the deer represents love. Your home is where your heart is, not where you plant yourself. And grasshopper was take a leap of faith.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So leap of faith. So here I am packed up on my way to Bend. Well, I'm telling you, there was multiple different signs. I could go into this for another hour. It was crazy, the signs, but they knew that I had to have.
You needed them. You had to have confirmation
totally.
and clarity. Yeah, clarity.
Yeah, there was so many signs. In addition, I mean, this one was the topper. I get back home after I found the house, all of that, and I was telling my business manager, gave her the address, and she says, "Holy shiitake, Sue, did you add up the numbers on your house?" Because I've got this thing about hawks and number 22, and there's just things when things are going right. It's not that I'm looking for them. I'll be like, oh, of course there's a hawk because blah blah blah. I was thinking, yeah.
I love hawks.
Lo and behold, my house number equals 22.
Oh, that's really awesome.
I went, you clever little clever. I didn't see a 20. Well, although then I drive here, my exit's 22. There's so many crazy.
Oh my God.
I know, exit 22. I get into the house. It had been sealed. The dogs and I we make the bed, the blow up bed before the truck gets here the next day. I wake up the next morning and I walk into my laundry room. No joke. There is a grasshopper. It was huge. It wasn't one of those little tiny ones. I even took a picture of it, and I had told my real estate agent the whole story about everything that was going on. When she got over here, because we were getting ready to do this whole run through the brand new house with the builder and everything. And I'm like, look at that. It's a huge grasshopper. And even the builder was like, he didn't know what was going on, but he's like, that is one of the largest grasshoppers I've ever seen low down. It was crazy. So he hung out for the day, kept me. I mean, it's just been one after another. And yeah, here we are.
I love your willingness to dive deep and do inner work and face hard things and take risks. And then I love the expansion on the other side of your willingness to leap and your willingness to follow signs and your willingness to receive guidance. Like I like the breadth of all of this.
It's the receivership too, right? Oh.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And that to me, there's a braveness in acting, and then there's a braveness in not acting and surrendering, right? Mm-hmm. Brave in both directions. When you got to this new house and you unpacked and everything, and it was one of your first quiet nights of being single after all those years. Did you have like a oh shit moment? Did you have like a breakdown?
I had lots of oh shits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Yeah. I did a 911 call to one of my buddies, and it was a he, and he actually is doing the work. And yeah, I've had a few of them. I've had a few of the crying on the floor, not being able to walk, crying on the couch, sobbing, snot, shake, not being able to move.
What was it basically about? Fear of the unknown, doubt, did I make a mistake? Just pure heartache? Like
the doubt would creep in, and then I would completely shut it down. Not shut it down. I would not shut it down in the sense of pack it down. I would let it out. Yeah. And that would be the tears. Because that's an important message. I didn't shove it back down. Whereas before there were so many times I diminish and shut down. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
This was not it. So everything was coming out. It was like a geyser. Wow. And the anxiety and the fear and the biggest thing for me from a mom's perspective, I had just had 3 babies in my womb, 22 years of being a mom, 22 years of being a wife. Yeah. My whole community up there. Now, all of a sudden I'm living in this house by myself. Where are my daughters?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was heartbroken that, I mean, were you and I talking about this, about the shopping? Because when I go shopping, I still think I have to fill my pantry.
For the whole family.
For the whole family. I still have to fill my freezer because I still have somebody I've got to feed. There's going to be a team coming over, and I'm breaking all of that away. Identity. Yeah. Yeah. And there's nobody that really is, I don't need to put them in a car seat. I mean, that's baby. Sure. But I also, they're not coming home for snack and I'm not driving them anywhere, or they're not coming home for snack with the team, or any of that. And there was a whole remorse. Yeah.
So much of your identity, your actions, your priorities, your values, like everything is not that anymore. And so to me, that could be a real, well, I'm glad you're honest. I would have had the same, I've had my own fetal position moments. I call them a shot or two of tequila in the bath with a bag of potato chips. Like that's my place. That's where I go.
Yeah. A shot or two?
Or two.
Come on. It's like a bottle
or two.
I need to check out. This hurts too much.
Yeah. And yet what we find when our whole identity that isn't really who we are, it's just like a role. And then you get there and you're like, okay, I'm not an identity. I'm not a role. I'm actually, and we want to have this embodied in a real world, in a business and in a life, but I'm actually limitless and I'm actually completely at choice and I'm completely held. But that comes only after, oh, fuck. Like, right, let go, like terror for me anyways, terror.
Complete. Yeah. Complete. I hadn't gone through that before. And mind you, I'm in the work. I did the practice. I would work out. I'd go running. I would meditate, and I would take a hot shower, a cold bath, a steam, doing all the shit I'm supposed to be doing. Come on, I'm in the work.
Same.
And still losing my shit. And guess what? That's okay.
Thank you.
It is so okay. Yeah. And keep losing it. I encourage, I've heard myself saying it, because I encourage my clients to have temper tantrums.
Yeah.
Get on the pillow, scream in the pillow, let all that energy out of your body, whatever it is, let it out.
Let it in and through. My group coaching call today, we always dance at the beginning, but if they dance, they dance. They don't. I'm not like pushy about it. I was pushy today. We're dancing, rock me like a hurricane. and they were just like, oh God, something's up with Allana. I'm like, didn't you see the video? I had a fucking breakthrough with my dad. Like, we're dancing to Scorpion right now. Let's do it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So 10%, like, move it through rather than try to cognitively analyze everything, because it doesn't work.
No control. This is not about control. This is about full on, let the energy out so it doesn't manifest into something, a migraine, the big C word, cancer, all that other stuff, right?
Sure. No. Yeah. And so when you went through all of this bravely, messy,
still.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, same. What are some of the gems you've discovered about who you really are at this deeper level? What really delights you? What do you do for the fuck of it?
The biggest, I'm going to say this, the biggest fucking thing.
Yeah.
The biggest fucking thing.
Yeah.
Is it is all okay. And I love you. You are safe.
To yourself, you say this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay. It is all okay.
Mm.
Whereas I lived my life for so many other people trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
And now I have this incredible opportunity to really look at myself and go, you're awesome, girl. Not from an ego, from literally, you are a really, really a freaking good person. Yes. You walk the talk, you got shit, you got stuff that you're going through, and that's okay. No more being hard on yourself, no more resentments, no more of I just shoulda, coulda, woulda all over myself. None of that.
Yeah.
I love you. You're safe. And being in a position where I have the faith and the trust within myself that I can do whatever I design to do, whatever I create to do.
Yeah. Tell me who you discovered you are designed as. This is beautiful.
So back to the craziness to clarity, going through the craziness and getting really clear on who I am. I am somebody who's going to stand up tall for myself. I am somebody that's going to have boundaries, and I'm also going to show up very loving and communicative and open-hearted, but still have boundaries where I take care of myself. And what that does is, if I can show up that way and say, you know what, our sisterhood in this relationship is so important to me. I really, really want to have this conversation with you.
Mm.
You mean so much to me.
Yeah.
This means so much to me.
Mm.
And then have that conversation and know that's so much softer than what the frick are you talking about? That wasn't my fault, but complete difference, sure. Right? Totally. And it's victimhood versus ownership, and whatever comes of it, and being okay with it. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. And I learned so much from my 3 daughters, still learning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Still learning. 22, wow. 21, 19. Oh yeah. It's heartbreaking, and they're their own individuals.
Oh yeah.
And, I have always said, and it came true, I want to raise beautiful, strong, independent women. And I forgot to say, and I'd like them to come to my house every so often and call me and say, I love you and you were an awesome mom. I forgot about that. So now I'm adding that stuff in.
That's
but
perfect.
They're spreading their wings. They're spreading their wings. And that was a come to Jesus for sure the last few years.
Sure.
Coming from an adoption environment and that lack and not having that, I thought that there was this whole dreamy thing, the Barbie doll and Ken, whatever what do they call it? That family, it's like a traditional family that you see in the Hallmark, whatever you have. You have this Norman Rockwell moment thinking that that's what my family should look like.
Right. I'm going to make up for everything I never had and all that.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little more about, and it's just semantics, but to me, when I think about boundaries, this is just my, the way I look at the world. If I need a boundary, there's something in me that doesn't feel like permission to say what I want to say. So I need to have a boundary so you don't cross my boundary, because I need the boundary in order to help me, because I don't feel quite certain in what I need to say. But then there's this place that I go to, I don't need a boundary because it is what it is. This is just my agreement. This works or this doesn't work. And there's no, I feel like it's pushing away if I need to have a boundary, as opposed to, open. Thank you so much for inviting me. I don't work on Sundays, or I don't And how would Tuesday work for you, or whatever? So it doesn't, so I stay open, but in my glory and receptive, and it's just semantics and it's just a word, but words can be very powerful. So tell me how you navigate the way you look at boundaries when we put everybody else first. Clearly there's no boundaries, or there's no self, even deeper than that. There's no, I'm worthy of filling my cup up first. I choose to live from the overflow.
Yes.
Right. I fill my cup up first. So
beautiful question. Beautiful. And being able to come from that space of, and you know what? It's a big fat permission slip, men and women alike. Yeah. I've talked to both men, especially. It's been really eye-opening that they just want to give and give and give, even though there's the conversation where we women think that they're taking, when they're just as scared as we are. So again, we've got to come to compassion and love. Totally. So where I'm going with the boundaries, having self-love first, you have to have the awareness you weren't putting up boundaries because there's something going on. So that means you have been in the victimhood.
Yeah. Or codependent, putting them first.
Codependent. Well, why did that happen to me? Why do they keep doing that to me? Those are really good thoughts that say, and awareness that says, okay, I'm in victimhood. I treat people how to teach. I teach people how to treat me.
Yes.
That is that, and taking the word try out of your vocabulary is going to be really huge. Just integrate that into your life, and you're just integrate it. Just process and integrate, and start working with baby steps with that.
Yeah.
The boundaries. You've got to have, one, the awareness, but two, you got to really get clear on who you are and how you're going to show up in order to make those boundaries. If you're going to show up in confidence, even though, you might be scared shitless inside, you've still got to align with that. The big anchor words for me is authentic and genuine.
Yeah.
I can just feel it. So when I show up in love and compassion, authentic and genuine to who I am, I know I'm going to bring the best I can in this conversation.
Mm.
And that best that I can is open-hearted.
Yep.
Able to hear and receive. And if there is a lash out, I'm going to allow myself to just sit, not take anything personally. Now, granted, that takes a lot of work with my daughters, hands down. So the rest of the people, I kind of got it dialed in.
Yeah.
But I'm playing here, but seriously, because when you have children, there's a lot you can't take personally, a lot, especially, females too, daughters. Love the whole journey that we're on. Now I can say that it's not always fun, but back to the conversation with boundaries, getting to that space where you know that you're going to show up the best that you can. And this is really beautiful because not only are you showing up the best that you can, you're now using the language and the dialogue. Mind you, you've had to rehearse it and repeat it because you know you're going to have this conversation with if you've had the awareness that this is the relationship that you want to hold on to. You've got to first think about that. Is that the person I really want to stay engaged with energetically, emotionally, physically, whatever that is? If it is, then start rehearsing how you want to show up in that conversation. Do you want to show up confident, open, loving, nurturing, and with a boundary that says, I'm going to love you from here. We're going to have a conversation and it's going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. If it's not, but you still have to have that conversation with said person, then you can still show up the best that you can and say, you know what? This conversation is important to us. It's important to me. And I would like to have and get really curious about what's going on and have that conversation. And if they want to have it, have it. If they start getting spiteful and say, you can just put up a boundary and say, this isn't the energy I want. I really wanted to come at this compassionately. Let's get curious and see if we can work this out. And if it's not worth the energy, then that's okay. We will agree to disagree.
Got it.
Put the knives down.
So when you use the word boundary, how do you actually define it then? Is it it's like what you're willing to engage with and what you're not willing to engage with? Is that kind of how you?
It's both. It's all of it. I mean, there's personal, there's sexual, there's conversations, there's physical boundaries, there's all kinds. If we're just going to talk about, I feel as though you've kind of crossed the line.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, if
there's not feeling honoring, safe, respectful,
with me. Yes,
for the highest good of all.
Here. Can we have that conversation?
Yeah.
You're important enough to me. I want to have that conversation.
But it's not like you actually say, you've crossed a boundary. We need to have a conversation.
I am getting triggered.
Yes. Yes, ownership. I totally get it.
Complete ownership. And they'll be like, oh, babe, sweetheart. Oh, no, not at all. Okay, let's have that conversation. Or they'll say, you know what? Yeah, that got a little sticky. And you can use playful words like that. You can go, you know what? That got a little chunky and sticky versus, the harder words. Get playful and curious about it, right? Because it takes that sting out and you keep a different frequency in the engagement and the energy. Yeah. And then you can come back. And then when you've had that conversation, look at the confidence, look at the new neural pathway that you've created, right? To be able to build on that and trust even more as you go forward.
This is good.
Are we good on our time?
Yeah, we're good. I wanted to ask a follow-up question about that because I wonder, because I'm always like, I can't see my blind spots to save my life, right? So I can see others, but not myself. So my staff is really good at seeing my blind spots. And then I get triggered and then I'm like, okay, I'm triggered right now. Okay, so let's talk about this. And maybe one of the reasons I don't like the word boundaries is because I'm not very good at them, but not in the way that you talk about with conversations. I'm super good with that. But I love, like, for example, my last retreat that I led, my sales gal got COVID. She couldn't come. The assistant, it was our first time to like work together of what I could ask her to help me with and what I couldn't. And I wasn't very good at asking for help or whatever it was. So this next one, I've got a coach that's going to come. I've got like the sales gal that's going to come. I've got the on the ground support that's going to come. And they're telling me like, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be at every meal. You don't have to lead every meditation when we first get there. You don't have to welcome everybody when they arrive. You need to have some boundaries. And I'm like, I don't want to seem like some arrogant ass in the back and like, I just arrived just to teach the thing and then leave. Like, I love the intimacy that I am a stand for. I love the vulnerability that I'm a stand for. And I'm totally aware when everything's on my plate and I don't have boundaries or say, you know what, I'm going to opt out of dinner tonight. I feel tremendous guilt. I feel uncomfortable. I feel, who am I to have that? And will people not like me? I mean, the list goes on. So I think I'm a boundary issue when it comes to like retreats.
Okay, that's a really good conversation. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, please, Clarity.
Oh my God, this is brilliant. Okay, one, you have the awareness. You're figuring it out, right? You're figuring out what this energy, this exchange, this dialogue looks like in your workshop. So if we're specifically going with the workshop, sit down with your team and you go, you know what? Thank you for suggesting that, but I like the intimacy of engaging with my participants and doing that when we first get together. It's important for them to build trust and whatever the language is, because it is. I know about workshops and engaging that. If that's really important to you, you stick with it. That is something that you do.
Yeah.
Then if you need to opt out for dinner, you opt out for dinner and you are okay with that because you have provided.
Yeah.
Because there seems like there's an imbalance of, well, if I can't do that, or if I'm opting out with that, there's an imbalance of not only you feel as though your needs aren't getting met. And then there's the question within your head, oh, well, who do you think you are? But it's not that. It's not. It's you saying, you know what? I am giving my full out. I know that. I trust that. And I don't have to be at every dinner. I have to rest to be able to show up the best that I can for them. So really look at what that workshop looks like. And if in that first day you're dancing and engaging and talking to all of them, you do that. That's important. And then you know what you could say? You could say to them, you're going to see me in and out. And I'm setting an example to all of you of boundaries because I want to show up the best for you. So I may
100%.
not be at a dinner because I'm loving on myself because I want to love on you the next day.
Totally true.
Be honest, transparency, beautiful. And what you're doing is you're teaching them in your own experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think the foundation of all of this is putting myself first, kind of like we were saying, people pleaser at the back of the beginning of the interview. I'm in this conversation seeing how there's been sourcing my worth from showing up, providing, being there at every single thing. And they're so grateful. So I did a good job. So I'm enough. Like that kind of way, being like a solo entrepreneur. Building like this is all new. And my staff is saying, oh, well, and they're giving examples of it. Well, they're never at dinner. And they're like, but I like to be at dinner. I like to do that. But I'm realizing I can't do it all at an A+. And it's almost like, I don't want to put myself in a punishment or a timeout or a prison, but see it differently of like, no, this is the nourishment for an A+, and check in clarity of the in my body.
Exactly.
If I did this and this and this, and then be honest with myself, heavy, it's too much.
Yeah.
And keep going through, where do I get the biggest bang for the buck? And then once I have that self-worth and the clarity of what my capacity really is, I don't have any trouble being transparent and honest and vulnerable and telling them the truth. But I think I haven't taken the time to ask first in relationship. Sure, I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you and I'll cook dinner for you and I'll do sure, right? And then all of a sudden I'm a resentful bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is so good in your single time now, 3 years out of your divorce, me, not even 2 months yet, out of my relationship on my way to India, to really slow down and ask these, not clarity of the strategic mind, but clarity of the heart, the gut, the knowing, the yoni, the pussy, like the place of like
intimacy. Babies, come on, ladies and gentlemen, if you want intimacy, some of the best sex that you've ever had in your life, come on, you, of course, come see you. But seriously, get clear and get your needs met. Get clear on what feels good, what doesn't, and figure it out for yourself. If we're talking about,
start with self. That's what I meant.
Self, or of course, come and talk to you too and do it.
Sure.
But start with self, figure it out, and get rid of the shames and the guilts. Again, product of an 80s kid and talking to women. in my 40s, I remember having conversations, even now, of women that hadn't had orgasm, didn't know the multiple different kinds of orgasm. I know from personal experience, there was a deficiency in my intimacy for 22 years. And I have completely liberated myself because I feel safe in myself, and I feel safe in the engagement. You hear me use the word engagement a lot because it's an entanglement and an engagement of energy.
Yes.
And a physicality too. So it's important to really honor that and recognize that too. But really get clear on what feels good and what doesn't. And if you're not really quite sure, I went online. I went to Beducate. I went to Lila Martin. Beducate, hands down, the best online sex store or education platform ever.
Really?
Books. Oh my, you got to do it. Beducate.
Educate.
Yeah, it's just bed, like you would say bed and educate together. B-E.
Yeah, Beducate. Got
educate.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Incredible. I'm on my second year of annual membership because I keep going back. I mean, they talk about anal, they talk about squirting, they talk all the myths be gone. It is so incredible. And it's so liberating. Education is wisdom, my love.
Yeah.
You know this, right?
Yeah.
And it's stepping across that fear, that little bridge of fear, or that little bridge of shame, or that little bridge of, oh, shiitakes, or the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Do it. Oh my God, the best freaking orgasms ever. And that's body, energy, mind, love orgasms here.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Well, this is a great way to wrap this up on a high with our orgasms. So this will be curious. Have you had the best orgasms of your life alone or with another?
Alone. And I've had a really beautiful partner. And it's been the most safest.
Yeah.
Open. And I say safest because there's no judgment.
Yeah.
There's no question. There's no dirty. There's no any of that. And if we want to get dirty, get dirty. If we want to say dirty, get dirty. It's just beautiful. Yeah. And that openness from the heart, the sensuality, the curiosity, all of that. Fuck.
Nice. I'm really happy for you. Oh, good. It's so good. It's so good. And did you choose this lover when you got a divorce? Did you say to Gus, I'm ready for this lover? Or did you just?
I've requested. I have specifically said, and put up my boundaries of what I want. And I call him an aligned alpha.
Oh yeah.
My aligned alpha.
Yeah.
I don't know that this specific partnership right now is what that's going to turn out to. I'm not in any shape or form to be in a relationship. I'm just not there yet. Yeah. And I'm clean. I've put up my boundary. I've made that very clear from day one.
Yeah.
So that feels very good. And it's teaching me to really hold true to that and stay in that. And this, the world doesn't yet, but I'll tell you, I'm packing my stuff like you, and I'm getting on the road. We'll do that later.
I was going to say, should I say anything? But I was like, no, let me say it. I didn't want to
Yeah. You know about it, but there's that too. And I'm going to be open and explore. And this person has been absolutely incredible. I cannot invite you guys enough. You have the biggest, fattest permission slip. Love yourself. Open that beautiful vagina, the heart, the everything. Oh, yes.
There's so much fucking bliss possible when we release the shame, the concern, the do it the way society says, the concern about what other people think, and just follow.
Porn is not real life. Come on. Porn's not real life. It's not.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it's not. And again, going back to the conversation about having the best orgasm with myself or another, it took for me to examine myself and figure that out. Awareness, clarity, my wants, my desires, what needs are being met, what are not, what feels right, what doesn't. And now I can share that openly honestly, in a safe environment, I am so open and non-judgmental. I say, I'm a yes until I'm a no. I'm a yes until I'm a no. How's that sound, sis?
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yes.
And just such, well, I just adore you. This is like my second hour of my entire existence on the planet with you. And I'm like, I love her. She's so awesome.
Oh, good. I hope to see you in Arizona. I really do.
Well, I don't know if you're going to come to India or when I come back or how.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Arizona in April, if that's gonna work out.
Yes.
I want to really thank you for your honest sharing, all the way from the adoption story to the motherhood and the marriage and how you made that decision and all these deep questions, and then the true in a pile, fetal position, like the real story of what it's like to like the best orgasms of your whole life. And permission not to put the old identity right back on again and find the next one and do the thing, right?
Yeah. No, that doesn't work. Put that bag down. Put that shit down.
As I was doing that video that you saw with my dad just this last weekend, it was more of a heartfelt, safe connection with my dad. Like maybe relationships not for me, but now it's only been a couple of days, and within a day you can process so much. So it's been like a couple of days, and the idea of shame-free. What if I gave myself permission to have multiple lovers? What if somebody comes along that's the one, okay, but the fulfillment of me being the one, my version of Gus being the one, making love with the divine, all giving myself permission of all the things I've never let myself be or do or have.
Yes.
Get my pole up again when I get to India. So dancing with my pole, bringing my sparkle 8-inch heels.
Yes.
Tantra, like bringing the best tantric lover in the south of India. Like
I'm a yes until I'm a no.
That's right. Yes! And all that meeting my dad's like to love and safety has led me to find one guy or another husband or another whatever. And like that collapsed in that conversation where, I don't need that anymore. I really wonder what's going to happen.
Right? Look at that free. I got goosebumps. I've had that. I'm like, oh shit. No, I don't have to be like that. I don't have to act like that. I don't have to respond like that. Who is that? No.
Yeah, I get to choose what I want. And thank you for also I want to say thank you for, and I'm looking at the time and everything's fine, but okay. I know we could talk for hours. Thank you for a new definition of boundaries, that it's not a pushing away based on, I can't keep it together. It's an invitation of what works for me based on doing these, slowing down and listening, and what really works from fullness and this open-hearted conversation. Like I can do the open-hearted conversation, but it's like this, love myself so fucking much that I slow down and ask and feel and listen and know. And then from that place, it's delicious.
Having that language, that's juicy shit right there, right?
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah, always. Thank you. I really wanted to provide to be of service to you. So it's,
oh my God, you're amazing. You're amazing. Okay, so Gratitude Cafe, that was the podcast. You have to totally check that out. And as we said before, there is ClarityWithSue.com. And where else would you like to send them? That would be really fun.
ClarityWithSue.com. Just go there. Yep. Just ClarityWithSue.com. We're getting ready to relaunch the online C2C program, which is C, the number 2C, the Craziness to Clarity program.
Yeah.
And as soon as the world opens up, I'm going to be doing that in person as I'm traveling and teaching from the road. My second book is getting ready to be released as well. That goes along with real life, real time self-regulating tools. It's all of what we're talking about.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You are a rock star. I am so happy to know you. Just knowing you exist on the planet lifts the energy of the planet, makes everything that I'm doing easier. Just know that I really appreciate your full-hearted living, because I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it. You're a blessing. Stay.
It's a good mirror for you too, sis.
Yes, I'm a yes till I'm a no. Yes! And thank you for your kindness with my birthday and that card, the whole thing. Yeah. Stay with me so I can say my official goodbye. Okay, everybody, there's been so many gems in this interview. I know that you are just like, oh my God, choose one, take a little moment, take after the this is over, reflect the one that moved you the most and take an action. Definitely take an action with going to ClarityWithSue.com for sure. But take one action so that the rest of your life literally changed because you took this hour to be with us, and let our love fuel your highest choice or your deepest wisdom. know that we love you with all our heart. This intimacy is really what it's all about. Find yourself your own Sue and like hang out with your good girlfriends and have each other's back and play. And it's just, we get to. Yeah, I love you. Until next time on Intimate Conversations. Mwah, mwah, mwah.